Alright, in this tutorial I'm going to make a sandal or maybe a sole of a foot, and I'm going to have it follow the shape, the contour shape of this foot as it goes up. So let's go ahead and get started. And like I said, I'm just going to do something real simple here, and if you want to use it for maybe a boot or something else, you can also use it that way. So we'll select a rectangle, and I'm going to go around this foot area somewhat, and we'll scale it down just a little bit here. And I'm going to need to get some more points, so I'm going to select the edge mode here, Control A, and we got this option called line tessellation. Alright, I can see I got plenty on the top and the bottom, but I need a few more on the sides here. So I'm just holding the mouse button down and dragging through there and line tessellate. And I'm going to turn on the symmetry here. The foot is actually itself not symmetrical because it dips in one area, then the other area don't dip so much. But remember, we're doing the sole of the boot or the sandal, so we're going to try keeping it symmetrical for right now, and we can tweak it later. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and select, we'll select here, and we'll bring this in just a little bit. I'm kind of eyeballing this side right here, basically. And we'll bring this up like this. And I might bring that up just like that, just a little bit. And like I said, just trying to get the shape of the sole of the sandal here, not actually the shape of the foot. I'll bring this one down here just a little bit, and bring this up a little bit, and I'll bring this out. Okay. Now this is the basic shape of the bottom of the sandal. Alright, we're going to deactivate the symmetry over here, and I'm going to go ahead and use this option called offset, and I'll give you a reason why I do that. So I'm going to select here, and when we got two edges that are together, the closer they are, the sharper the edge. The further away, the more smoother, and this is going to come in handy here in a bit, and I'll explain that. So remember me saying that the closer the edges together, the sharper the edge. The further away, a lot smoother. Okay, this is fairly decent right here. So I go to the Surface Modeling tab, and I'm going to use the ruled surface, and I'm going to select here and here. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's go to Windows, Normal. We'll collapse this here, and I'm going to loop this. Then I'm going to hold the Control key, and I'm going to drag on this red cube here. And the red cube is the x-axis. If you don't know what the x is on what you're dragging, just look down here in the trihedron, and it's got the x, y, and z, and it's color coordinated. So I'm going to hold the Control key down, and I'm going to drag this cube, and it's going to scale in like this. Alright, and you can also see it moving right here when I do this. Alright, I want to go ahead and zero this out, so I can just drag in here. I usually hit the backspace on the keyboard, or you can type 0 in there and just press enter, and it'll zero itself out. So we'll go to selection, and we'll select convert selections to points. Alright, and what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I want to use the average weld and weld these together. Usually if you bump this up just one time and validate it, it's welded together. And a good way to find out if it's welded is select one of the edges and loop it. If it does not loop all the way up and down, then something did not get welded. So I looped it, and from the top to bottom it looped, so I know it got welded. Alright, now we got a problem. We got a problem area right here, and I got one at, well, I got actually a couple of them here and here. Now what these are triangles. It's got a face with it's got a face with 3 points on it. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these faces here, delete, and I'm going to select this point here. I'm going to grab this triangle, and I'm going to move it to this up here and hold the shift key to snap to it. Alright, I'm going to use this weld here. I'm going to right click and drag over these points that are bunched together and validate it. That way when I pull on it, you can see it's welded. And also this face here, now it looks like it's got more than 4 points on it, but actually it just got 4 points. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, now we need to do the same down here. Select here, and here, delete, select the point here, drag it down, hold the shift key to snap to it, weld point, right click and drag, and it's going to weld it. Alright, now we got the basic shape. Alright, we're going to go ahead and bump up the geometry one time. Alright, and I'm going to collapse the geometry. Alright, we'll tip it down like this. And I'm going to add thickness. And remember this little edge right here? Now they're kind of close, and I'll explain that here in a second. And it's a lot easier to do it now than messing with that later. I mean, whatever you prefer. So we'll go to surface modeling, and we're going to add thickness. Alright, and we'll validate that. And anytime that you add thickness, and if you got the dynamic geometry, go ahead and make sure that's collapsed. So when I subdivide it, it's got a nice little round edge all the way around it. It's not real hard, it's not too hard, and it's not too soft. Okay, nice little pattern. Alright, let's go ahead and we're going to go into a couple views here, just to do a couple alignments. I'm hitting the hotkeys, so I might need to turn on the transparency. Alright, and another thing I notice is when I bend this back up to the back of this foot, it could come up short. So I'll go into this view here, and we can also scale it like this if we needed to. Alright, let's go to the side view here. Alright, now I'm going to bring this up to it about touches the foot here, and we'll move the smoothing back off here. Alright, I'm going to collapse DG here and bring this back up just in case we have any problems here. Alright, now what I'm going to use is this line tab here, and I'm going to use a polyline. Okay, I'll start somewhere here on the front. Alright, now I'm going to tap the space bar so it goes directly in this axis here, so it's directly in here, and see about right where this foot's going to bend is approximately where this edge is going to land here. So I'll select here and click, then I'll bring it across here towards the end and tap the space bar and bring it straight up, and I'm going to put it in the angle of the foot. Double click to validate it. Alright, make sure that we're going to use the bend option here in the utilities. Make sure that you go into object mode, or because sometimes it'll stay in face mode and it won't work right. So well, we're in object mode, we got this selected, and then we're going to use this bend tool here. Then we're going to select the line. As you can see now, it came up short because I didn't do it far enough. Okay, so we'll Control Z that, and I'll just bring this up just a little bit here. Let me get a couple views here. Alright, now we'll do that again. Alright, so with the pad here selected, select the bend tool and try that again. Alright, gives us enough room. Alright, I'm kind of happy with that. We'll hide the curve here. Always the first time you might not get it, and like I said, this is I was working with symmetrical, and later if you decide that you want to tweak this one side in, which will throw the symmetry out of whack, you can do that, but for right now I don't want to do that. And another thing is, just to be on the safe side, I'm going to select all the points. I'm going to point mold, Control A, and I'm going to just use the average weld and just validate it. Sometimes some of these points do not get welded, so just to make sure. And usually when you subdivide it, you can usually tell if something starts poking out or just looks a little funny than the rest of it. So that's a dead giveaway something's going wrong. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a heel here. Alright, so I'll select here, and we're going to go ahead and I'm going to select on the other side and between it, and I'll hold the mouse button down and drag across these ones that never got selected. I am holding the shift key. At this point in time, I probably want to make a shading domain for this, so I'll make a new one here. Alright, then I'm going to hold the control key down and I'm going to extrude the back of this heel. The control key is held down and I'm going to drag out. And another thing is, if you look up here in this face here, I want to keep these separated from the heel. Alright, now what I'm going to do is just drag this in and drag it down approximately where I think a heel should go. Now if I look at this edge going straight up and down, it's kind of jagged, so if I move it slowly to it quits getting that jag to it, alright, that's going to tell me it's pretty much straight up and down. That's kind of what I wanted. And you can see I got these still selected here, and it's tipped in the Y here. So if you go over to the size here, we'll zero it out by just typing 0 this time and press enter key. Okay, that's flattened that out. Now I'm going to need to go ahead and I'm going to select some edges here, and I'm going to use the ring option. And because I might need to be some tweaking later here, so then I'm going to use the connect. That's going to give me some more options in case I want to tweak around this area. Alright, we got the bottom of the foot here. Alright, this area here to over here. Use between, hold the shift key down and paint select here. Of course, we'll make another shading domain for this. Alright, I'm going to go on the side view and I'm going to pull this down just a little bit. And I'm going to actually put it to the bottom of the screen here. And I'm looking at the back of the heel when I put it down there. And I'm going to line it about where it needs to go right there. Okay, that's looking a little bit better. Now we can take a subdivision look. Alright, I'm going to collapse the DG as normal. Control Z that. Let's move the history here. Just double checking something there, and we'll subdivide it and take a look. Let's take a look with the smoothing on here. Alright, that looks better. I'm going to go ahead and this needs to be a little bit sharper in the back here, so what I'll do is I'll go over to the shading domain that I need to select. Then I'm going to hold the control key down on the keyboard, and I'm going to select this little red cube and just click it. And you can just see what just happened there, alright? And that kind of flattened that out. Alright. Now this shading domain, let's go ahead and just for the sake of it, just kind of change the color so it kind of blends in here. Really don't want it to blend, but I'm pretty much done with this shading domain and almost done with this video anyway, so I just kind of want to give you a little bit better view what it looks like. And you can tweak the sides by pushing them in or whatever you want. And if you know, like right here, if I wanted to go ahead and loop this area here and hold the control key and maybe make this a little bit sharper, just click, and you can drag out or wherever you want, pull up, pull down, then you can do something like that. Anyway, I'll control Z this. this is pretty much the end of this tutorial. And if, like I said, now I got these little edges back here. If you ever want to do any tweaking, that you could go ahead and scale these in or out or whatever you wanted to do. Or you could, let me go ahead and just, before I finish up here, just mess around a little bit. Face mode, let's try that again. As you can see, I got transparency on, and I did that because it selects all the way around it. And we can scale it like this. And we can select here, loop it. Alright, that don't look too bad. But anyway, I think this is going to be the end of the tutorial here, and this is just a little something that you can do pretty easily. And thank you very much.